And this podcast is brought to you by the Repost Network. Repost Network. Monetize your SoundCloud content. Sign up today at repostnetwork.com. This is the power of pro wrestling. A podcast by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome to a very special prediction show for the Power of Pro Wrestling podcast. Now, this is your host, Robert Redd, and I'm actually going to be flying solo tonight with my prediction show. As you know, NXT Takeover Dallas is tonight on the WWE Network. It's here in a couple of hours at the time of this recording, and I thought I would give my thoughts and my predictions on the show. Okay, I'm going to start with Elias Sampson versus Apollo Crews. Now, this seems to be a last-minute match that was just announced recently, and the rivalry is really coming from what's happened the last few weeks on NXT television. Elias Sampson has been undefeated up until this point, or at least that's what they're billing. He's been beat before, but when they officially debuted him on the main roster, he's not been beat. And then here a couple weeks ago, he got beat by Johnny Gargano, and Gargano... after the match got beat down by Elias Sampson, and with that, Apollo Crews comes out to make the save and kind of separate Elias Sampson from beating him up anymore, and then Elias Sampson backed off. And then this next week, Apollo Crews just beat this guy. Elias Sampson just kind of started coming out singing, and it looked like he was going to attack Apollo Crews, but he didn't. He just kind of walked away. So this should be an interesting feud. Apollo Crews, I do see, is kind of on his way up to do a lot of great stuff. With this match, they seem to be pushing Elias Sampson, though, at the time being. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Elias Sampson take this match and beat Apollo Crews. But Apollo Crews could definitely pull out a win on this one. The next match we're going to is Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin. And this match has also kind of been brewing here for a while. Austin Aries made his debut a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month or so ago, I should say, on NXT television as being the latest signee. Well, Baron Corbin didn't take too kindly to that after being in a triple threat match to be a number one contender, and William Regal wasn't really granting his request, so he kind of decided, I'm going to start taking matters in my own hands, and he comes out and attacks Austin Aries, who did nothing to him. Now, I am kind of excited for this match just to see Austin Aries in WWE. I never thought I'd actually see this, but it's just surreal. And this seems to be happening more and more in WWE, which is making me excited that they're signing a lot of these indie guys. Baron Corbin's another guy I feel that's on his way up. I'd love to see Austin Aries pull out a win. He very well could, but I'm thinking Baron Corbin has momentum going right now. So I could definitely see Baron Corbin winning this one just for the simple fact of I think they have future plans for Baron Corbin to maybe get into the hunt for the NXT Championship. So I think that's where they're going to go with this one. The next match I'm going to talk about is a highly anticipated one. It is between Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. And this is also a lot of debuts here at NXT Takeover Dallas. You have Austin Aries' debut, you're getting Shinsuke Nakamura's debut, or Nakamura Sensei, as Cornbread would tell you. And it's just an interesting dynamic. Sami Zayn kind of lost the number one contendership, so he's like, I don't know if I want to be doing anything in NXT Takeover, and I really want to be a part of it since it's going to be probably NXT's biggest show to date. And just William Regal came out on NXT after him losing and is like, hey, your opponent in NXT TakeOver is going to be our newest signee. Cuts to video, it's Shinsuke Nakamura, so it's just, I'm excited for it. Sami Zayn could very well pull out a win on Nakamura, but since I feel Sami Zayn is probably on his way out and isn't going to have maybe a whole lot more involvement with NXT, I could definitely see Nakamura winning this one. He's known as the King of Strong Style. If you go back and watch his New Japan stuff, dude is very charismatic and entertaining. So I could definitely see Nakamura winning this one and beating Sami Zayn, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Sami Zayn pull out an upset. This match is potentially a show stealer. There's a lot of these matches that could be a show stealer. But this is the one you definitely want to be on the lookout for, or for tonight's show. So you definitely want to check this one out. The next match I'm going to talk about is for the NXT Tag Team titles, and it is against Dash and Dawson, which are the Revival. They are the champs, and they're taking on American Alpha, Jason Jordan, and Chad Gable. Now, this is pretty well an interesting match. D was excited about it, and I got excited about it because it had kind of an old school, just wrestling feel. You have Dash and Dashin, which are reminiscent of like the Brain Busters and stuff like that, the Andersons, and you got American Alpha, which are an up-and-coming tag team. Now, when American Alpha first formed and Gable was kind of going for Jason Jordan, I wasn't sure how I felt about the tag team, but they have been on a roll pretty since. The two have gotten together. The Revival have done a good job being tag team champions, and it seems like they are pushing American Alpha to get a tag title match, the tag titles, but I don't think they're ready to take them off Dash and Dawson necessarily yet. So, I mean, it's a very hard call, and for a lot of the title matches, I am kind of 50-50 on who could win. I don't know if we're going to see a title change here, because if Enzo and Cass didn't do it, which are a more over tag team than Jordan and Gable, I don't know who will. So I'm going to pick Dash and Dawson to retain the NXT tag titles. Okay, the next match I'm going to talk about is actually the NXT Women's Championship match. And it is Bayley versus Asuka for the Divas title, or the women's title, the NXT Women's title. This is a very interesting dynamic. Bayley was like the breakout diva of 2015, just going into NXT Brooklyn. I was like, they're building Bayley up to win the championship, which she ultimately did, and beating Sasha Banks for the title, which is an amazing moment. But tonight, Bayley is facing her toughest challenger, and Asuka. Asuka has been on a roll and had been beating people pretty well left and right, knocking people out. And Bayley, I think they're gearing her up maybe to join the main roster. I just don't know as of yet if she's going to go to the main roster. Or, like I said in the last match prediction, I am kind of 50-50 on this one. I could definitely see Asuka taking the belt just because of the way they've been building her. But I'm going to go Bayley here to keep the title, just for the simple fact I don't think they're done with her yet. I think she's going to stay the women's face of NXT. I've actually compared her to the female version of John Cena, which is was going to be a podcast topic. So I think Bayley's going to keep the title in a hard-fought match, because I don't think they're going to have Bayley drop the title to Asuka. If she does drop the title, I think it's going to be to a heel, more like maybe Nia Jax, Eva Marie, or someone like that. As much as I hate saying that, I don't think they're going to necessarily have her drop it to Asuka. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Asuka took it, but I'm going to say Bayley keeps the championship on this one. I don't think Asuka is going to beat her tonight. I think this may be Asuka's first loss in NXT, and Bayley's going to keep the title. But like I said, I won't be surprised if Asuka wins, but I'm going to pick Bayley on this one. And the final match that I'm going to discuss is the NXT title. It is Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe, and this one has been brewing for months. This is kind of a rematch from NXT Takeover London. And Samoa Joe, like I mentioned in earlier ones, just won a three-way match to become a number one. Well, he won a three-way match, and then it was between him and Sammy, because they both got the finishers on Corbin. And so it had to be decided between those two in a 2 out of 3 falls match. After they had, I think, another, or who won, because I think they had a double pinfall. And this went to another match which Samoa Joe won, and he got the right to face Finn Balor. Now, I think they're getting ready with Finn Balor going up to the main roster with Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. So I don't know if they're going to really let Finn Balor keep the NXT title and go up to the main roster. I do see the Bullet Club is going to play some form fashion in this weekend, like it has been rumored. I just don't know necessarily where they're going to fit in. So it should be interesting to see that. I don't think Finn Balor is going to keep the title. He's beaten Joe once, so I don't think Joe is going to lose again to him. So I'm going to pick Samoa Joe to win the NXT Championship. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the matches. I gave you my predictions. Just feel free. What do you think of the show tonight? Are you excited for the show? Feel free to tell me about it. Facebook, MarkWonders85. Twitter, MarkWonders85. Instagram, you can follow me and look at my pictures. It's MarkWonders85. YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/user/TheRobertRed. I'm on Patreon. It's patreon.com/PPWP, so you can check out some great content on there. I just released earlier today, or actually yesterday, late last night, my WrestleMania 32 Roundtable. So while you're on my SoundCloud channel, you can check it out on iTunes. You can search for the Power of Pro Wrestling Podcast. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and predictions. Thank you for joining me for the special prediction show for NXT Takeover Dallas. This has been Robert Red for the Power of Pro Wrestling Podcast, and I will see you guys next time.